Maze Runner, The Death Cure. Honestly, going into this movie, I wasn't expecting a ton. So, is it good? Is it worth checking out? Let's talk about it. Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and this is my spoiler-free review for Maze Runner, The Death Cure. Was this movie awesome? No. Was this movie terrible and a waste of time? No. It really, for me, sat right there in the middle. I would have rather seen this, though, as a Netflix original film than have spent the extra money to see this on the big screen. But that's how I feel about a lot of January movies. I mean, that's just kind of what this season of movies is, you know? I mean, this is just one of those movies you go to kill time. It's just a filler while you're waiting for Black Panther to come out. That's what this movie is. And I feel like if you go into it with those expectations, yeah, you're gonna have a good time with this movie because, you know, it's not terrible. So let's jump into some of those positives. Some of the positives with Death Cure is this. If you really like the actors from the first two movies, you love the characters and you've gotten attached to these characters, then you're gonna love it again in this one. They did a great job. They continued it forward from that last one. So if you liked everything they gave you in the first two Maze Runner movies, you're going to like everything they give you in this one. I was one of those people that I really liked the characters. Like, the first emotional heartstring moment I had with this whole series was when we lost Chuck in the first movie. I mean, I think they do a great job with these characters. They do a great job of making them likable. And then the ones that you're supposed to not like, they do a good job of making you not like them and things like that. So I enjoy the characters, and they did a good job keeping that going for this one, so I thought that was good. And a lot of the action sequences I thought were good. Another thing that surprised me kind of about this whole franchise is how much I've really gotten into a lot of the action sequences and how they've had a lot of fun with that. I think this movie definitely carried that on, so I think when they dive into the action scenes, it's really good, and it's really well tied to the story. Like, it's not action just for the sake of blowing stuff up. Like, I mean, it's tied to the story in such a way that it works, and I think that's really good. Jumping into some of the negatives of this movie, a lot of it's just kind of hard for me to put my finger on, but I was fighting boredom in chunks of this movie, and it's not that the movie was slow or had any moments that really slowed down to the point of utter boredom. It's just something about this third movie did not draw me in, and I'm trying to figure out what it was, and the best that I could come up with is I had zero expectations for the first one, and it completely surprised me. Getting into the second one, the stuff that they faced, the action that they did, it surprised me. Like, I didn't see that coming. And then getting into this third one, I saw it coming. I really did. It was a very predictable movie as well. There were huge plot points and huge concepts that I predicted, and I called them out to my wife, Laura, as we were getting into this. I was like, okay, because this happened to him, this is going to happen over here, and this is how that's all going to pan out. And I was close. I wasn't like 100% right, but in the overarching thing, I was right. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that is predictable, and I'm sure you can already see where they're going with a bunch of this stuff. So, I mean, that's kind of the biggest negatives for me. And they try to have some big emotional moments with some of these characters, and I still like the characters carrying over from the second one, but again, something about this movie, it just didn't suck me in as much. So when they tried to give us these heartfelt, emotional moments with some of these characters, I didn't feel totally pulled into that, and I didn't really feel that emotion. But I don't know. I'm going to give this movie a C. I mean, to me, this movie is just a perfectly average movie. It wasn't great, but it's not terrible. Like, I mean, it is a fun watch. I really think it's a perfectly good filler until Black Panther coming out here in February. I mean, that's just kind of where I'm at with that. I think, again, I would rather see this as a Netflix original or, you know, somewhere on TV rather than the extra bucks on the big screen. But that's just me personally. If you saw it, where are you with this? What did you think of this movie? Can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button to become a Durbanian, and make sure to hit the bell by the subscribe button. That way you're notified for the next movie review I drop, the next theological analysis I drop. And, you know, I got a comic book review coming out, getting into the comic book series Earth 1 from DC. I'm on Batman right now. I'm excited to talk about that. Got a theological analysis for the first Maze Runner coming out here Saturday. I can't wait for that. So make sure you hit the bell so you're notified when those things drop. I'm Durbin. Thanks for checking out Durbania.